Hello there.
My bad. Anyways, when I started YouTube back in 2014, I really had no idea what I was doing. I had the same voice I do now for some reason, and I made videos on practically whatever I wanted, with my shitty face cam and playing a game on a sketchy recording software with several downloadable ads that will give you spyware, that kind of stuff. As much as I enjoyed YouTube at that time, I didn't know for a future what I wanted to do in YouTube. And so, even though I looked up to YouTubers such as Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, I ended up quitting the whole thing, and then I quit for quite some time. And then I made another account, ended up doing the same thing, made a little bit more progress. But I'm around 2020 and I make this channel. I at least have an idea in mind. And I wanted to make tutorial videos. I wanted to help people. And heck, I still do that now. I've gone back to a lot of the roots of what I do because, quite frankly, I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed the idea of helping people and giving people some sort of knowledge that they can take into their life or game or whatever it is that they need occupied. It's there for them. It's a resource, and that's why it was a valuable way of making videos. And that's why some of them got over 1,000 to 2,000 views, I think. But as my channel's gotten older, and now it's almost 4 years old, account's age is the same age as a toddler, pretty much. My idea of content has changed, and I have a better understanding of what YouTube wants me to make and what people actually enjoy making and what people enjoy watching. A huge part of that is commentary. I grew up, too, watching a lot of commentary and footage put over because you don't want to record while actually making the video. It was the best way to distract visually while actually talking about the subject matter. It's in the same sense having a fan in the background for extra external noise, but in the form of sound. Just switch the senses and it ends up being a background object. The visuals in commentary is the background. I think commentary can be very informative. It's useful to understand what's happening on YouTube, communities, and the world. It's also a part where it's become this profitable source. People enjoy commentary. Now, I don't want to say that I'm different from other commentators. I'm just a dude with a monotone voice with recorded footage over it is that I'm recording. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? I think where I differ is I'm not afraid to say what I want to actually say, and I don't want to pretend like, as a channel, there is that fear of rejection that people have when speaking open with their minds. I think the problem with especially the famous ones that have this audience, their audience has a very crisp idea of what they expect for content. And if it's something that diverges away from their opinion, or if it's a bit outside of what is acceptable, then it becomes distasteful and hypocritical. And heck, I could be hypocritical for saying this, but this goes into my deeper idea of philosophy and deeper meanings in life. I think we all want to relate to someone. We want innate meaning within conversation. That's how we connect with people, is being able to have a conversation with someone. And these commentators definitely can inspire us to make those connections with these people even though we've never met them. If we don't have connections in the real world, it's definitely important to put it somewhere. And it's for the same reason that if we don't have heroes in the real world, we can look up to idols and heroes and characters in video games and movies. I think we kind of do the same thing with celebrities, especially on YouTube, where we have entire fan bases, and if we even criticize one thing at it, the rest of your entire career will be now attacked by their fan base, and you will be blacklisted from that tribe of people. It's that tribe mentality where if you do something bad, if you say something wrong, then you're 100% unadulteratedly fucked. It's interesting finding and seeing people's different opinions and sometimes getting angry comments while making different subject matters. I remember on my Why Fractals Are So Creepy video that there were some people that disagreed with my take on fractals and how I believe them to be creepy, although after seeing this video I can't really say why I wouldn't think they would be creepy. It is subjective, yes, but I think the difference between a troll and what isn't subjective is, if you're actually giving advice that may sound harsh but is still something that could be worked on, then I wouldn't consider that trolling. You know, trolling's a part of all of YouTube, and it's something that, especially as a YouTube content creator, it's something that you have to really seep and take in. I watched Jacksepticeye's latest video, and I feel bad for the guy. It seems like he's going through a lot and definitely burned out from making YouTube. Hence, I probably would be if I was making videos every day for 10 years straight. The fact that he still makes videos too it's awesome, you know? But there's gonna come a time when even our favorite creators move on. He seemed to be bothered a lot by a lot of the comments said about his father. Jack's father is burning in hell. And if someone said that about my father who passed away, I can't see how that wouldn't impact me too. I can sympathize. I think we take the harshness of comments and memes and shit about us that we don't like, and we transform it into something good, you know? It's like, if people don't like you for who you are or the content you make, it makes something good about it. And I know that seems vague. The internet has always had people that argue and fight with each other on things. I'm used to it at this point, you know, people disagreeing with my take. I still try to make the best content that I possibly can, but I can't satisfy everyone, right? There's always going to be a dislike for every 100 likes, even if the video is as best as one could interpret or objectively put a video. If it was successful in every way, there's always going to be people that don't like it, and that's something to always keep in mind. We shouldn't let those things get to us, and I think if they do, that's definitely something that we can work on. If there's people that are just pieces of shit in your comment section, then figure out a way to make it sticks and stones. I understand because I've been there myself, and I think my original idea with this video was about me going into the idea of how people think in this tribe mentality with different groups on YouTube. It turned into do the best you can, which, even though it's a lot more basic and more broad, I think it needs to be said. My idea with YouTube is I like to make subjects and ideas that are interesting to me and my friends will like, what I will like, and what a broader audience will like, but it's not ultimately doing it because I feel like I have to do it. I could walk away from YouTube and I could still create something with my life. Come back to it at any moment that I feel like, if I change my mind. I don't feel this innate connection to the content that I make, but it's just that the subject matters themselves I find interesting, and talking about these deep subjects sometimes will come at that cost of people disagreeing with what I say. You need people that have differing opinions. That's what makes it so interesting, is when we have people that disagree with things, there's different perspectives. Say if you look at a square and someone else sees it as a cube, is it no longer a cube? Or what if you see the ridge of the shape, but you don't see the cube inside? Then it's a hexagon. These are all different perspectives of the same shape if we look at it in a 3D angle. We're all talking about slightly different things, and that's why we argue. That's usually what happens, is it's the same subject, but we're talking about it in slightly different ways, because our experiences are different, and hence, that's what makes the world go round. We can't all agree on the same thing or all have the same interest in the same thing, because then there wouldn't be people that could build highways but also do chemistry. You need those fields of different people in different areas with different interests and differing opinions to make a functioning system. And the same goes with YouTube. You have to have people within the genres themselves. Gaming, commentary, music, tutorial videos, heck, you can make anything on YouTube. There's billions of videos at this point, I'm pretty sure. I always like to listen to people that have differing opinions from what a lot of people would want to take. Even if we don't agree with it, I think we find out that we can understand why they believe in the things that they do, someone's motive for doing something that we completely disagree with, and say politics or whatever. But it annoys me to a degree that centrism in these channels, it becomes boring to me. And I said this in my other videos. I believe there needs to be more opinions with these people. It's going to make people not like them as much if it goes away, but I would say that that's on them for doing that. I think not worrying about the opinions of others, by the way, is not the same thing as getting canceled. I don't think you can really control that. If you have confidence in yourself and it's like, okay, I don't really give a shit, then okay, I can say what I want, and it's okay if people disagree with me. You know, there's some science behind why we get so triggered when people have different takes than us, or different way of thinking, or like a different opinion. It goes a lot back to evolution, where we have tribes of people, and those that were like us we stayed with because that tribe was similar to us. But if there was differences, that means that they had different tactics of survival. So you had to change your tactics of survival in order to be able to engage with them, or you would be fighting over the same resources, the same food and whatnot, and so potentially be a threat. And I think that's why we naturally feel angry or upset when we disagree with people. But it's important to control those emotions, especially in an age where it's so easy to lash back out, but it really does nothing. If you just keep fighting and fighting, it's never going to go anywhere. Even if you think it is, bro, you're not going to do anything by just giving people what they want, by fighting with them. The best thing is to just walk away, delete their comment, whatever, on the internet. But I'm not going to delete someone's comment for just having a different opinion than me. In fact, I would like to hear what you guys think of this idea, being yourself on YouTube and not fitting into audience wants you to hear. That's what I want for my viewers ultimately. If you watch my channel, my inspiration to you is to keep people open-minded. I want people to be able to look at things from several sides and come up with their own way of thinking. That's why I put critical thinking in this title, because that's what it is. It's coming to your own conclusion after seeing a lot of different perspectives, right? And so it's important to think twice beyond the initial thoughts of how we feel. You know, I'm not talking about any subject in particular. That's for you to decide and for you to think. For me, I think it's just being true to myself. In fact, this video is not scripted. I'm basically rambling how I feel, and I quite enjoy this video. In fact, some of my greatest performing videos are just of me ranting what I want, and are not at all scripted. It sounds scripted sometimes, but it's really not. Anyways, remember to sometimes take a day. There's a lot on it already. Seeing people argue back and forth, it gets so tiring. We can decipher that it's bullshit, but I don't think our instinctive part of us can. You are what you consume physically, but also mentally. If you're consuming negative things, and that's why I stopped watching the news, it affects you subconsciously. I didn't like to admit that, but that certainly was the case with me, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I hope there is something useful that could be taken out of this video from watching it, and it's alright if you don't like it, because that's kind of the whole point. It's really up to how you feel, what you should say, not what people want you to say. Anyways, that said, my name's Acidical Portal, and shit, I forgot, friggin' bitch, I forgot what I was gonna say.